A 69-yard throw from Lomax to Roy Green. O'Donoghue ready to kick off. Again, McSwain is back there deep along with Gary Allen. 7 minutes, 20 seconds left to play in the third period. McSwain at the 5. He brought the last one past the 40, 20, 25, and goes out of bounds just shy of the 30-yard line. And Bates is trying to get into a scramble down there. Here we go on the chalkboard.
All right, now you watch right here. 81, Roy Green is going to come off the line of scrimmage. He sees all the defenders up here, 11 guys. You note only 3 guys back. He sees that blitz. He breaks it off inside, catches the ball. Victor Scott misses the tackle, and off he goes for the touchdown. Now watch. He comes off the ball. He sees the blitz going inside. He side adjusts, moves inside. The tackle is missed by Victor Scott, the rookie, and off he... Look at that stride. Look at that stride. He is excited.
Great athlete, Roy Green. 11-point lead now. Hogaboom pitching to Dorsett. And we get a whistle blown just prior to the snap of the ball. Let's see if this is delay of game.
Nope. Left tackle, offense.
College football coming up on CBS this Saturday. You'll see either Illinois go against Ohio State. Big Ten matchup, or Washington undefeated against Stanford. Stanford's lost his quarterback, but still had enough to beat UCLA.
They got the key interceptions in the first half yesterday and did a real good job of holding off the comeback by UCLA.
So college football next Saturday right here on CBS. Be with us. 5-yard penalty moves it back to the 25. It is first down, 15. The fake to Dorsett. Hogaboom should have been intercepted by all rights. Not a very good throw at all. And Thomas Howard, number 59, was there. And I hear a few boos raining down from above. He threw that thing in heavy traffic.
It doesn't take long to change loyalties. You know,
there's the Danny White contingent, perhaps, and White looking on. Now the highest paid punter maybe in National Football League history at about $500,000 a year.
Look at the career stats. He ain't Danny White.
He still has his contingent is following here at Texas Stadium. We thought that Tom Landry did not do right by White by benching him. Dorsett, 30, 35, and out of bounds at the 36-yard line.
That's the old sweet play. Both guards pulling, fullback leading, dip back and find the point of attack open outside. Did a nice job of running that play. St. Louis has the same play in their offense. They ran it well last week.
Helps if you got a guy like number 33 to run it. Great weapon. 73 yards rushing now for Dorsett on the afternoon. Still looking for his first 100-yard game of the year. The Cowboys have a third down upcoming. They need 3 for the first down with the ball at their 35. From the shotgun. Intended for Cornwell, the tight end, Fred Cornwell. By the way, the word we got earlier is that Doug Cosby twisted his knee, and there was a chance he would be back, but we haven't seen him so far. So the Cowboys have had to go with the rookie tight end, Cornwell, out of Southern Cal. That sets up a punting situation for Dallas.
We're getting a little more emotional reaction from the fans than we normally get here, Frank. You know, in the first half we had the wave, now we have the boos. What are we going to get next?
I don't know, but that wave surprised a whole lot of people. They were talking about it at halftime, because usually the fans here pretty well sit on their hands because they're used to winning and a lot of exciting things happening. Stump Mitchell deep, Danny White to do the punting. White wants to go to the Pro Bowl this year, not necessarily though as a punter.
Well, if he's punting like this one, Frank, he's going to go.
It's another great kick. Mitchell at the 20-yard line went out of bounds. His momentum took him out. Hang time of 4.8. Not bad.
That is an excellent punt.
So a tremendous punting job by Danny White. Cardinals will take over at the 18. Coming up next week on CBS, some fine ball games. This will be a doubleheader in the first half of the Twin Bill. Rams will take on New Orleans. Kemp, of course, going against the likes of Richard Todd, getting a lot of help from Kenny Stabler down there. Giants and Atlanta, Lawrence Taylor and Gerald Riggs. You've got Walter Payton of the Bears against the St. Louis Cardinals in St. Louis, and Tampa Bay against Detroit. That's the first half. And the second half, the one we've been waiting for. Annually, the first of 2 shootouts between the Cowboys and the Redskins. Cowboys lose this game and the Redskins win. They'd be tied for first place in the NFC East. First and 10 from the 17-yard line. Earl Farrell, the fullback, gets the call. Up over the 20 to the 22-yard line where Dickerson wraps him up. For an NFL Today report, let's go to Brent Musburger in New York.
Frank, Tampa Bay has just taken the lead on Minnesota. Steve DeBerg, his second touchdown pass of the afternoon. This one to 7 yards to Gerald Carter. And now it is 28-21. Let's go back to Frank and Dick.
That's got to be a fun football game. Huh?
Yeah, they're going up and down the field.
They really are. Back and forth.
That's normally hard to do on that Tampa defense.
Second down 6. You know, they're minus Hugh Green. He was in a wreck.
I read that.
Cardinals at the 22-yard line. Lomax on the delay gives it to Anderson. Anderson stopped just short of the 25-yard line. So the Cardinals looking at 3rd or 4 or so for the first down as Brunig, number 53, makes the stop. That's the time left in the 3rd period here at Texas Stadium as we bring you up to date on other scores around the NFL. There's Doug Cosby, the injured Cowboy tight end, limping a bit on that bad knee. Hey, Eagles may be winning one.
Hey, they're due. The people are too critical of them right now because they've lost to 3 real good playoff caliber football teams, and everyone gets mad at them.
And our score again, the Cardinals 24 and the Cowboys 13. 3rd down. Let's call it 3 for the first down. St. Louis at its own 25-yard line. Lomax to throw it. In trouble behind the line. Loses the ball. And the Cardinals recover, but back at the 13-yard line. Louis Sharp, number 67.
He says, I'm not supposed to have the ball. It's supposed to be a pass.
Good hands. A lot of pressure.
Here's Too Tall Jones. Look at him come off the ball. Got off a little late. Tootie Robbins, number 63, pass protecting him, and he's pushing him right back into the quarterback, getting some heat on him at 6'9". Then Jeffcoat came around from the backside, number 77, and knocked it out.
A loss of 9 on the play. And Birdsong will be punting from 1 yard deep in the end zone. Gary Allen is deep, standing at the Dallas 45. Low snap. Gets it away in good order, but a short kick takes a Cardinal bounce to the 45 of the Cowboys and just inside the 40. And Dallas will put it in play from there as Birdsong got the good roll on it. 49 yards on the punt. It'll be the Cowboys' ball when we come back right after this. Cowboys offense has sputtered most of this football game. They have a 1st and 10 at their 37-yard line, trailing 24-13. Look at those total offense figures in the 2nd quarter. Hogeboom, a rainbow intended for Donnelly, and he threw it slightly behind him. Lionel Washington, number 48, characteristically or uncharacteristically underthrown that time by Hogeboom.
Hogeboom has such a strong arm. I think he just tried to throw it a little too soft, and it just didn't get as far as he'd like it to be. But I think actually he had a step on him.
You know, Tom Landry told us yesterday he's going to make a 6-game reevaluation of this ball club. Might make some personnel changes this week. Might change some plays. Normally does it after 4 games, but this year, because of all the new players, he's waited until the 6-game mark. Just coincidentally, perhaps, it's just before the Redskin game. Dorsett, 35 across the 40 to about the 42-yard line.
Boy, he does that so well. He does that, Frank, as well as any running back. You saw that. It was started straight in there, bounces outside, slithers around there, and here he is with a nice 5-6-yard gain. Many running backs would have lost a yard on that play. He has had to fight for every yard he's gained this year. 78 yards rushing this afternoon and 12 carries. In the past, he's given the lineman boots, taken him out to a fancy food restaurant. The rumor is this year it's McDonald's if he has coupons. Unless they shape up. Get him some of those hot enchiladas.
Cowboys have had no luck at 3rd down conversions. 2 out of 10. On 3rd and 5, Renfro picks up the first down with that catch at the 49-yard line. And not by much.
You really have to give St. Louis some credit here. They're playing good, sound defense. They're contesting every ball that's thrown. They're not backing off in any way. They're playing with confidence.
You know, Mike Renfro has been with the Cowboys organization forever. His dad, Ray, once upon a time was an assistant coach, and Mike was a ball boy for the Cowboys in training camp when he was about 10 years old.
Yeah.
So he goes way back with him. Of course, played at TCU and then with the Oilers and came to Dallas this year in the Butch Johnson trade.
His dad was an all-pro with Cleveland, right?
Great receiver.
When you were at Cleveland?
Just before I was at Cleveland. It was back in the
1922?
early 60s. Dorsett, penalty marker.
Fumble.
There's a fumble, and there's a penalty marker down to the play as well. The fumble has been recovered by the Cardinals at the 50-yard line. Let's see what the penalty was all about. If it goes against Dallas, obviously, the Cardinals will decline.
Number 89, offense, decline. First down.
Turnovers will get you every time.
They will. You know, and a fumble's worth about 3 points in the winning margin. And Dorsett's fumble ratio this year is greater than his career average by a long ways. Look at his average, one fumble every 30.7 snaps before. Look at right now, one every 17 snaps, rounded off.
How can you account for that?
I don't know. Sometimes it's just the way things go, and he could go the rest of the season and never fumble again.
First down, Cardinals with the nose of the ball just in Dallas end of the field. 2 minutes, 33 seconds left to play in the third period. Lomax. Swing pass out to Farrell, 50 down to the 45-yard line. And that's the end of the line as Everson Walls, number 24, comes up to crunch him.
That Emerson Walls is a real player. You know, a lot of these pro football players don't get the credit for what they do off the field as well. He really supports a lot of community activities around here, as well as the Big Brothers programs and these kind of things. And besides being an all-pro for 3 years in a row.
Well, he grew up not far from the Cowboys practice field.
Yeah.
Great all-pro. He's been an all-pro since he's been in the league, and a Pro Bowl guy. 3 turnovers for the Cowboys, none for St. Louis. That's been the difference in this ball game. Second down, 6 Cardinals at the Dallas 45.
Here's that same audible again, trying to get to the tight end down the hole.
Lomax to Green. He's got Walls with him. Green for the touchdown. Roy Green.
That was an audible again, the same one they hit the tight end down early. I hear the audible was 189, and evidently number 1 was the live number. The tight end goes down the hole, and the wide receiver outside fades down the sideline.
Cowboys and Tom Landry will remember this visit from Roy Green. He has been truly instrumental, scoring 2.
Now you watch right here. He's going to start to look down the middle, and then he lays up the fade, right, coming over the outside shoulder. See this right there? Perfect throwing ball on Everson Walls.
And Walls has got no shot to make the play. Green with 5 catches for 170 yards and 2 touchdowns. O'Donoghue to try the extra point as the Cardinals are breaking this thing open in the third period. The kick is good. 31-13. Normally, it's the other way around.
Do you think Hanneman's fired up? Look at him. He's about ready to go in and play himself.
Mill as the St. Louis Cardinals trying to end a long drought at Texas Stadium. And again, the turnover pays off as they converted into 6 points rather quickly with a combination of Neil Lomax. And look who's warming up for the Cowboys.
D.W. Danny White. Looking for a change of pace, probably.
White has not seen action offensively. Single down this year outside of punting. O'Donoghue's kick again to McSwain. 10, 15, 20, 25. Runs out of bounds at the 32-yard line. You know, the Cowboys rated very high statistically, and the roar is for Danny White coming into the game for the first time this year at quarterback.
Can you imagine how these fans have changed on that?
White is getting a standing ovation. Can you believe this? They were booing him earlier this year in preseason.
You would think Hogaboom was on the defensive side. You know, he hasn't caused or been involved with the St. Louis offense success.
Well, it'll be interesting to see. White has got 1 quarter plus 1 minute and 29 seconds to work with to see if he can bring the Cowboys back, and Gary Hogaboom obviously doesn't like it. As we mentioned, that Cowboy offense has been sputtering. Flag down again. 2 flags down as Dorsett takes the handoff and picks his way upfield to about the 40-yard line. Pickup of 7 or 8 yards on the play. See what this one is all about. Danny White coming into this game coming into this season, the #2 rated quarterback in the history of the National Football League. The penalty is against the Cowboys for illegal motion.
Illegal motion, number 85 and number 63. Offense, still first down.
Tom Landry has made the quarterback switch, but he's indicated before if he does it, it's a one-game situation. It doesn't mean that one guy loses the job. But if you've been around the Cowboys, if you followed the Cowboys, it's been very interesting, this quarterback controversy that's been brewing really since even before the preseason got underway. First down, 15 after the walk-off back to the 26-yard line. Cornwell, the tight end, in motion. The handoff to Timmy Newsome takes it to the 30-yard line. Now, White has had a great deal of success against the Cardinals in the past.
He's done a good job. There's no question about it. But, you know, right now there's a little confusion in the offense with the young Fred Cornwell in there playing in the absence of Doug Cosby. I noticed that time he was flinching, waiting to go in motion, rhythm off a little bit, and it was bothering the quarterback, Danny White.
There's the Cowboys still without the services of Tony Hill, who suffered a separated shoulder against the Rams in their opening game, but they hope to get him back, if not next week, the week after. White, this will be his first pass attempt of the year, and he is sacked back at the 17-yard line. Good penetration by Bob Harris, number 50, the outside linebacker.
You can see Stafford Mays, number 76, working his way in there. He's getting held, actually, right there. Could have called holding, and he kept right on going and did a nice job. I can't see the offensive lineman he was on. I think it was Glenn Titans, number 63.
Clock is ticking away, the final 30 seconds here in the third period of play at Texas Stadium. And the Cardinals leading the Cowboys 31-13 after leading by just 1 point at halftime. Third down and 23. Cowboys are back to the 18-yard line. White out of the shotgun. Fades back to the 5. Greer chasing into the sidelines. Gets it away downfield to Donnelly, but Donnelly will be stopped well short of the yardage needed for the first down as he is drilled at the 26-yard line. Tackle made by Leonard Smith, and Curtis Greer out there with a lot of pressure. That's the end of the third quarter with the score 31-13 Cardinals. We now pause for a word from your local station. Frank Lieber along with Dick Vermeil at Texas Stadium as we head into the final period of play. The Cowboys with a 4th down 14. Danny White back to punt, standing on his 12-yard line, and Stump Mitchell, the number 2 punt returner in the National Football Conference, waiting at his 35.
Dallas came into this game, Frank, the number 1 punt coverage team in football.
There's another great punt by White. Back to the 20, 25. Mitchell 30, 35. And stopped just short of the 40-yard line. He's got some super hang times.
Beautiful punt. 4.41 hang time. You can cover that kind of punt, but that guy is an exceptional punt returner, Mr. Stump Mitchell.
Coming up tonight on CBS, it all starts 31-13. They come in with the number 2 offense in the National Football League, and the Cowboys are finding out why. 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line. Lomax to Anderson out to the 42-yard line, and the much maligned Cardinal defense has done its share.
Well, you know something, they were a fine defensive team last year, especially rushing the passer and that kind of thing, but they've been playing banged up, and today they have some starters back in there, and Thomas Howard, number 59, playing well. Lionel Washington back at left corner. Leonard Smith back at strong safety, and boy, that does make a difference.
Let's take a look at some other scores around the NFL, bring you up to date on what we have. Tampa Bay, Minnesota, status quo, 28-21, which Brent told you about a few moments ago. Jets and Kansas City in a real tight one in the 4th period, and New England and Cleveland with the same score.
I wonder who's playing running back.
2nd down, 7. I think Moisey was going to get his shot today. Green, dangerous man. Jeffcoat finally brings him down at the 45-yard line.
Boy, Jeffcoat was really coming down that line of scrimmage after that little hitch pass, wasn't he?
Roy Green told us yesterday, he said he volunteered when they had all the injuries to defensive back this week to work some at defensive back, and I think he had his tongue in his cheek a little bit, didn't he?
Yeah, well, he really doesn't want to be a defensive back any longer, but as he told us when he went to college, he went to the school that he went to, Henderson, wasn't it? Henderson? Yeah,
Henderson State.
Because the coach told him he could be a wide receiver, and he ended up being a defensive back.
That's right. And he said he went so close to home because he was kind of a mama's boy at that time. Third down. Cardinals need 3 for the first down at their 45-yard line. Lomax out of the shotgun. Over the middle, hits Green, and Green takes a hit from Bill Bates.
What a nice play by Bill Bates, the defender. I think they're going to give him the benefit of the doubt there.
Well, depends on the spot here, whether or not they get the first down. And if they spot it at midfield, that's about where they needed to get the first, and they got it. So Bill Bates, who came off the injured reserve list just a couple of weeks ago to add some spark to the Cowboys. And one thing that Tom Landry told us, what he's been pleased with this year, and what their main goal in camp was to improve the specialty teams. And this guy was kind of the anchor of it last year. He started it going.
I really think he'll probably be the NFC representative in the Pro Bowl. I don't know if anyone's any better.
He is certainly the most publicized special teams player in the NFL.
He earns it. You know, he does it the easy way. He earns it.
He does it the old-fashioned way.
Old-fashioned way, that's right.
Anderson crossed the 50, down to the 47, 46-yard line. O.J. Anderson running very hard. For an NFL Today report, once again, let's go back to Brent Musburger in New York.
Frank, the Chicago Bears have an entirely different personality with Jim McMahon at quarterback. Here's the quick touchdown pass to Dennis McKinnon now, and the Bears lead the Saints 27. Incidentally, Joe Theismann is resting now. The Skins lead by 28. He's getting ready for the Cowboys next Sunday. Let's go back to Frank and Dick.
Dallas bench may be somewhat in a state of shock. That's Howard Richards, one of the big offensive linemen.
They're not used to being in this position, but the game is not over.
Second down, 5. 12:25 left to play in the contest. Cardinals at the 46 of Dallas. Lomax out to Farrell, the fullback, takes it down to about the 41-yard line, just short of the yardage needed for the first down. Dexter Clinkscale making the stop. They've got about a yard or so left. Dexter doing a fine job, and Lomax, who has had some big days, maybe working on one of his best ever right now. In fact, he's got 329 yards throwing the ball with 17 completions in 26 tries against one of the best defenses in the league.
Well, this obviously is not Dallas's best day defensively, but you have to give the credit to the St. Louis Cardinal game plan and their coaching staff. They've done a real good job, and Lomax looks so poised out there.
He does indeed. Third down. The Cardinals need 1 for the first down. Lomax, too tall. Jones blocks another pass. He's made a career of doing that. That is his 40th knockdown in 4 seasons.
That's his 40th. Now look at him. See, he's all crouched up in that 4-point stance, but he reaches up with that 6'9" frame. Tootie Robbins, 63 on him. Keep pressure on him, Tootie. He's going to jump. There he goes. He jumps up and bats it back like playing volleyball. So you got to keep pressure on that guy so he cannot jump. Otherwise, he's going to force it right back in the quarterback's face.
Birdsong comes in to do the punting for the St. Louis Cardinals. Gary Allen is deep, standing at the 5-yard line. Birdsong has never had a kick blocked.
I used to think that way.
I know what you're thinking right now. You got to block one right here, right? Oh, he got a low snap there. Oh, he had to fake it. Did a nice job. Got the thing away. How about that?
You jinked him.
Turned out pretty well for St. Louis. How about that? Almost gets it blocked, and they wind up kicking it down to the 2-yard line.
He got a bad snap on that ball. Their long snapper, Randy Clark, normally a very efficient snapper, but you'll see that the ball hits the ground. See it come off. He's like a shortstop feeling that.
As McSwain went right by him.
McSwain went right over the front of it. I'll tell you, Birdsong did a super job of maintaining poise under pressure at that time.
Timeout. When we come back, the Cowboys will have the ball backed up to their 2-yard line. Huddling in the end zone as Tom Landry looks on. That's the time remaining in the football game. Dallas with a 1st and 10 from its own 2-yard line. And Danny White on in relief for the first time this season in place of Gary Hogeboom. White comes out throwing, gets it to Donnelly at the 5. Just a couple on that play. You don't go bombs away from the end zone here?
That one even scared me a little bit. I thought they'd come right and just power at him and try to get it out there and just get a little bit more room to operate in that backfield. But when you're sitting on that 2-yard line, there's not a lot of room left.
Pickup of just a couple on the play. Too Tall Jones, the center of your picture there. Randy White on the left. Boy, Cowboys' offensive game plan has gone nowhere these last 5 possessions.
They're having a trouble with that under defense that St. Louis plays.
White again looking sideline to Cornwell. The rookie tight end takes it out beyond the 10-yard line.
Oh, that's it.
And the flag goes down. And once again, there'll be a personal foul situation. Thomas Howard, number 59, the linebacker for the St. Louis Cardinals.
You know, that's not good judgment on the part of Thomas Howard. He's a veteran.
Personal foul. Late hit out of bounds. 59 defense.
You can see that he's out of bounds right there.
13-yard pickup on the play, and a 15-yard penalty will move it out to the 33-yard line. Jim Hannafin can't be too happy. Talking to some people at halftime, you know, Leonard Smith got that personal foul thing early. And they saw him over arguing with Hannafin on the sideline. So the Cardinals playing it very physical against Dallas. 1st and 10, Cowboys at their 33. They've got some breathing space now. White back to throw it. Good fake. Looks downfield for someone to clear. He's got Donnelly at the 47. And another flag goes down. They're going to get Leonard Smith, number 45, I believe, maybe with a shot to the head. It's going to be another personal foul, I believe. For Smith, that'll be either 2 or 3.
Personal foul, number 45, defense. Blow to the head after the catch. First down.
Here's number 45 moving inside. Now watch the pattern break. He comes back underneath him. He whirls around, coming back out. Nice catch right here. He catches the ball right in the hips. I don't see the penalty.
I don't see a shot to the head there.
I didn't see a shot to the head. The official was right there. He must have saw it, but whew, a little picky maybe. Huh?
Maybe. Anyway, the Cowboys will take anything they can get at this point. They have a first down at the Cardinal 32. Closest thing they've had to a drive here in the second half. White floats it for Donnelly. Downfield, can't reach it. Lionel Washington, number 48, with him, and Washington jawing at him all the way, looks like.
Yeah. To me, you know something, a team like St. Louis ought to forget all that kind of jawing and play football. There's no time to be a hot dog. Just go ahead and play football. They've gotten too many penalties already.
It'll be 2nd and 10 from the 32-yard line. It's been a long time since they've beaten the Cowboys. Maybe a lot of frustration coming out at this point.
Well, first off, they haven't beaten them yet.
Well, that's true, too.
And I know how Coach Peters coaches that defense, Floyd Peters, and he's a discipline-oriented guy, and that sometimes breaks down your discipline.
2nd and 10. Last time the Cardinals beat the Cowboys was 81 in St. Louis. Last time at Texas Stadium, 1977. I formation. Dorsett, 30, 25, 20, down to the 15-yard line. That's as tough a run as Dorsett will make all year.
Really nice little counter action. Got the linebackers flowing strong side, then he broke it back to the weak side of the defense. Now you watch to the left of your screen, you see Dorsett hop over. Now he comes back, see the guard coming around there. Boom, nice block right there on Harris, number 50. He's in the open. Come on, Smith, now you got to make the tackle.
That'll move it down to the 15-yard line. 1st and 10. It gives Dorsett 96 yards rushing on the afternoon. Interesting to note that when Dorsett has gone over 100, the Cowboys are unbeaten at 25-0 here at Texas Stadium. Well, he's 4 yards away from 100, and the Cowboys trail 31-13. White again handing off to Dorsett, but we got a whistle, and I think the play had been whistled dead prior to the snap.
Beautiful trap block by Glenn Titensir, the left guard. He really pulled and trapped and did a nice job on that. Howard Richards was in there at right guard.
Delay of game before the snap. Offense still first down.
5 yards. Moves the Cowboys back to the 20. The reevaluation of the Cowboys coming up this week by Tom Landry. I wonder if we've got a new quarterback controversy. If White should bring him back here, it would really be interesting, wouldn't it? That's the time left in the football game.
Well, he's had so many great games. You know, he's 64.5% in a career against the St. Louis Cardinals.
Don't forget Cowboys and the Redskins next week from RFK Stadium right here on CBS. The second half of our doubleheader. Blitz on White, trying to get it away. Donnelly over on the far sideline. having trouble controlling the football, going out of bounds near the 10-yard line, but they'll bring it back.
Lionel Washington, very impressive in the coverage in that play. Really a nice job of playing defensive back.
So bring it back to the 20.
See, he's had that AC joint problem in the shoulder, and they weren't sure he was going to be able to play today, but he's playing.
What is an AC joint problem?
Well, coaches, they used to call it a sore shoulder. You know, and then now it's an AC joint, an abbreviation, I guess, for everything that goes on in there. I can't give you the medical terms there, Coach.
Second down, 15 for the Cowboys at the Cardinal 20. 9.5 minutes to go. Handoff, Newsome, big hole, 15, 10, and Newsome crashing down inside the 10-yard line to the 9.
Newsome has really highlighted his career with many big plays. His little draw play, I think. Now watch Newsome, the fullback, coming back, set there, gets a block there right by his left guard. Now he's up in the open. Now watch him put his pads down right there. Perrin comes in and fishes him off right there, number 23.
There we saw Newsome last year against Tampa Bay with that last-second touchdown.
Yeah.
Sent it in overtime.
He has a knack of making big plays.
Third down, Dallas needs 5 for the first down. And let's call it 10 for the touchdown. Goes to the ball just inside the 10.
They found up an alignment out there. Oh, they corrected it.
White looking near sideline to Tony Dorsett. E.J. Jr., number 54, was all over him.
You know, I think Tony saw him coming inside out, and he was going to try to catch the ball and spin around and go up underneath him. That's what it looked like anyway. You can see Newsome, number 30, coming in motion right there. Now Dorsett coming out of the backfield, number 33, right off there. Now watch him. See, the ball is right behind him just a little bit. He tries to spin around and catch it, and he couldn't make the play.
Cowboys will go for it. No field goal here. On fourth down, they need 5 for the first, 10 for the touchdown, and they're trailing by 18 points with 8.5 minutes remaining. Brownlee to the left side, Renfro to the right, Newsome in the slot off to the right. White looking. Cornwell. Touchdown, Dallas. It looked for a moment like White could have run it in, or at least picked up the first down running.
Well, he did the right thing. He got it to the big fella. Cosby Jr., Fred Cornwell out of USC.
Danny White throws his first touchdown pass of the year. Cornwell makes the first touchdown reception of his career.
That's a big thrill for a guy out of Saugus, California. I've been there a few times. Engineering major at USC.
Ogaboom to hold. Septien will try the extra point, which would make this a 31-20 game with 8.5 minutes to go. Perfect.
Now you can see Danny right behind the center there, the quarterback. He's going to drop back in now. The rush coming, you can see nice pickup right there by the center. He gets underneath. Now he's out there running in space. Again, example of mobility. He goes up real high. E.J. Jr. pushes him, but he still makes the play. Fred Cornwell, first touchdown pass.
Timeout with 8:32 left to play in the game. He's ready to kick off. Too early for an onside kick?
I would think it would be. I think I'd go ahead and kick it off.
Roy Green is back deep along with Stump Mitchell. First time Green has been back this afternoon.
I'll tell you, he has a great career returning.
They do kick it away. Two great kick returners back there. Mitchell at the 5. Back to the 15-yard line, and Mitchell goes down. Tried to change direction, lost his footing, and the Cardinals put it in play first and 15, and the wave has begun once again. Fans enjoying themselves here at Texas Stadium. Everywhere you go, you see the wave. Coming up next Sunday on the NFL Today, Irv Cross will profile Danny White. It's been a long year for him. This afternoon, getting his first chance to play outside of punting. He's the leading punter in the league from a net yardage standpoint. And a lot of rumors about what might happen to him if Hogaboom remains the #1 quarterback. Lomax giving to Anderson, and the Cowboys are all over him after a pickup of a yard or two.
You know, we really haven't heard Randy White's name mentioned very much today. Number 54, the all-pro defensive tackle playing on Terry's Steve. Terry must be playing him pretty well.
And Steve came into the game playing hurt.
Questionable whether he would ever even play today.
Second down. Cardinals need 9. Make it 8 for the first down. Ball is at the 16-yard line. They lead it 31-20, trying to work on the clock. And the Cowboys not giving up much. Farrell on the carry. And Jim Jeffcoat combining with Bob Brunig for the tackle. The clock, the ally of the St. Louis Cardinals. Brunig, the veteran middle linebacker, who may be in his last year with the Cowboys. He's had some severe back problems this year, which have caused him to be hospitalized during the season in traction. And it's still bothering him, and he's playing hurt. Third down. Cardinals need 6 for the first down. If the Cowboys can hold them here, it could get interesting. St. Louis from the 20. Lomax out of the shotgun, looking long, goes over the middle, completes it for the first down. That man again, Roy Green, who has done a job on the Cowboys catching the pass in front of Everson Walls.
Here he is right in the slot, coming to the right of your screen. Now he's in the middle of your screen. Now watch him work underneath. Now watch. He comes right back under. Walls tries to grab him with his right hand. He can't do it. Boy, that's tough. That's tough to defense. Really a nice job of just going ahead and getting that first down. Just what you needed.
Lomax, who had a big day against the Dolphins, having an even bigger day against the Cowboys. 18 out of 28 for 338 yards. And Green has caught 8 of those for 187. First down, St. Louis at the 29. They go back to the running game with Farrell. It's interesting, last week the Cowboys had their problems containing the rush, and now this time they've got problems containing the pass. For another NFL Today report, here's Brent in New York.
Frank, Minnesota had closed to within 4 points of the Buccaneers, and then James Wilder got in from the 8, his second touchdown of the game, and now the Bucs are back in command by 11. Let's go back to Frank.
Wilder, one of the great weapons of the National Football League with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Lawrence Taylor called him the best back he had ever faced several weeks ago. We'll be seeing Mr. Taylor next week in the Giants in Atlanta. 2nd and 8. Lomax pumps it once, looking long. Drops it off to Farrell at the 35. He's got another first down. Farrell is dropped at the 45-yard line.
These running backs for St. Louis are really running physical.
Look at the job they're doing on Randy White.
Maybe this is why we haven't heard about him. Here, all right, Steve, number 68, we have 2 people on him. Clark, number 64, pretty hard to whip 2 people inside.
Actually,
now
3.
they got about 3.
Isn't that something? There's got to be somebody open, you figure, right? If 3 guys are working on him. But how about the Cowboys with as the clock moves on here with the problems with pass defense, which is one of their strong suits this year?
They came in #1 in the NFC, #1 in the NFL against the pass, and today maybe this is the first real passer they've met.
Well, Tom Landry was bragging on them yesterday, saying they haven't been giving up the big play. Well, not until today. But they've given up some awfully big ones, particularly to Green. Farrell on the carry takes several Cowboys with him across the 50-yard line into Dallas end of the field at the 49. And the clock continues to move. 4 minutes and 30 seconds and counting.
This is a good football team. Dick Jamieson, the running back coach at St. Louis, has really got to be pleased with the way the running backs have been running. You notice they're always going forward, very seldom knocked back, getting the pads down, getting that extra 2 and 3 yards.
Farrell comes limping off a little bit. Third-year man from East Tennessee State. Second down. St. Louis needing 3 for the first down at the 49-yard line of the Dallas Cowboys. Anderson, 50, 45, and that's it. That's another 4 yards, however, and he's right on the first down marker. So the Cardinals content right now to keep that clock running. Cowboys need 2 touchdowns. Touchdown and a field goal won't help them to get back into this game, and Anderson, with that carry, has gone over 100 yards rushing on the afternoon. 22 carries for him now for 102 yards. Here's a final score. The Jets squeak one out over Kansas City.
Kansas City started out so strong. It looked like they were going to be one of the top teams, and they've sort of leveled off a little bit.
Denver started out strong, continuing strong. And, of course, same with the Dolphins. One of 2 unbeaten teams left in the NFL. They along with the San Francisco 49ers. 1st and 10 Cardinals at the Dallas 45-yard line. Randy Love to about the 40. They're getting about 5 yards a crack.
They're nailing them right now. I think now Dallas is starting just to sink a little bit, and St. Louis is starting to realize, hey, guys, we're going to win this football game. Let's just not turn it over and just pound at them and eat up that clock, and that's what they're doing.
Cowboys coming into this game have given up the fewest points in the NFC, 78. That's in 5 games, and the Cardinals have 31 here this afternoon. 2nd and 5 from the 40-yard line. Coming up next, the NFL Today post-game show. Brent, Irv, the break will be on hand. We'll have highlights. We'll have an interview with Walter Payton. All kinds of goodies, so stay with us. Again, the Cardinals simply content here to try to grind it out with Otis Anderson on the carry, Michael Downs on the tackle. Well, this pretty well sets things up for next week. Washington beating Indianapolis will mean, if the Cardinals win here today, that the Cowboys and the Redskins will go in tied next week for their first matchup this year at RFK Stadium.
You know, the one thing that the computer tells you in regard to the National Football League, Frank, is that a poor effort, statistically, is normally followed by a very fine effort. So, Washington, watch out for this Dallas Cowboys next week.
Timeout here at Texas Stadium with 2 minutes, 11 seconds left to play in the game. Lieber along with Dick Vermeil at Texas Stadium. Cardinals 2 minutes, 11 seconds away from registering their first victory over the Cowboys since 1981. They have lost the last 5, and their first victory at Texas Stadium since 1977. And they're doing it impressive style. Cowboys had that 98-yard touchdown drive engineered by Danny White, aided by a couple of penalties, but the Cardinals got the ball back. Doesn't look like they want to give it up.
Doesn't look like they're going to give it up.
They're working on the clock right now with an 11-point lead with just over 2 minutes left. Lomax having one of the best days of his career. Anderson. Oh, Randy White was evident that time.
That's a typical Randy White play right there. Wow, did he put him down. You know, I can remember when Randy White was an inside linebacker his first couple of years, and they played him in their goal line and short yardage defensive team as a middle linebacker, and oh, gosh, did he make plays from that position.
2-minute warning going to both benches. Of course, the Cowboys thought when Randy White arrived on the scene that he'd be another Dick Butkus, so they tried him for a while, but once they put him at tackle, he's been all pro ever since.
Yeah, and he could be the first, 7 consecutive time all NFL ever in the history of the Dallas Cowboy franchise?
Right. Yeah. Let's take a look at what we have for you next week on CBS. A big doubleheader, and depending on where you happen to be, you'll see one of these ball games. Rams and Jeff Kemp will go against the New Orleans Saints. The New York Giants and Lawrence Taylor will face off against the #1 rusher and Gerald Riggs. That'll be a matchup, Taylor and Riggs, that you and I will get to watch in Atlanta. The Bears and Peyton, the new NFL rushing record holder, against these Cardinals. That's going to be a good game in St. Louis.
St. Louis is going to have to guard against what the computer shows, a great effort followed by a down effort.
That's right.
So, you know, it goes both ways.
And Tampa Bay versus the Detroit Lions, who've had their problems today. And that's just the first half of the twin bill. The dessert will be the Cowboys and the Redskins. And Redskins with a victory today, now 4-2, and those 4 victories have come in succession after losing their first 2 games. And the Cowboys now will have an identical record unless a miracle happens in the next 2 minutes.
I think, Frank, excuse me, I think this Cardinal team is going to be, if it keeps going, the kind of team that's going to be contesting for that playoff spot.
Birdsong punched this one almost out of the end zone. However, we get a penalty marker thrown at the spot of the kick, and I think we're going to have a running into the kicker call as the Cowboys tried to block that one, and the Cardinals are going to get the football back. I believe it was rookie Steve Diassi, number 55.
You might as well go for broke in this situation. You're down, you're 11 points.
Number 52, defense, first down.
Well, it was Billy Cannon instead, number 52. Diassi was in there as well. Diassi doing his best, was trying to brush him, but he got enough of him. Tom Landry, obviously unhappy the way things have gone so far today. And it's back to the drawing board with the Redskins coming up next Sunday up in Washington. First down, Cardinals at the 33-yard line. Another handoff to Anderson. The big story, though, has been Lomax and Roy Green with those 8 catches worth 189 yards, including the one for 70 yards for a touchdown. Timeout situation. Cowboys will use one here to stop the clock. So the Cardinals got to be very happy. With 1:40 left to play in the game, they lead it 31-20. At the Cardinal bench, Leonard Smith accepting some congratulations there from Randy Love. Otis Anderson taking a well-deserved rest as the Cardinals have a 2nd down 5 upcoming, trying to run out the clock. They give it to Stump Mitchell, and Mitchell almost breaks it, takes it down to the 15-yard line. Every time Stump Mitchell comes in when Otis Anderson is injured, he seems to pick up 100 yards rushing.
Don't ever relax when that guy's playing. It happened to us one time. We were playing him, and it was his first start, and he ran for about 145 yards and whipped our fannies. He did a heck of a job.
It's a great little runner playing behind a great runner in O.J. Anderson. That's another first down for the Cardinals. They're at the Dallas 15-yard line. And they have pulled a lot of the starters, though Neil Lomax is still in there. They've got a new set of wide receivers in there. The rookie Duncan is in there.
You know, it's amazing. Dallas comes up here giving up. They're the #1 team in the NFL, and they're giving up 3.84 yards per pass attempt. And that's really something. And here they are today giving up 352.
Well, that is amazing, because last week, it was the rushing defense that went bad on them. And they still figured they had the great pass defense coming in, and the #1 defense in the NFC pass-wise, but it hasn't been there. Timeout. Bunch of St. Louis Cardinals waiting to do some celebrating. Don't forget, the Cardinals will take on the Bears next week in St. Louis, and you'll see it on CBS. And of course, the Cowboys go up against the Redskins, and you have to wonder what effect this defeat will have on them and on the Redskins.
I really believe they'll play better, and it might lull the Redskins to sleep a little bit, but the Redskins are back playing with the kind of personality that they played with to be NFC champions 2 years in a row and are Super Bowl champion. And I think we'll be back to the intense Dallas Cowboy, intense Redskin type competition.
Coming up next, the NFL Today postgame show, scores, highlights.
God, I hate this play, Frank.
Interview with Walter Payton we hope to have for you, as well as the star of our game. And I think you'd have to say it's got to be the Roy Green or Neil Lomax.
Both of those guys, they were super.
So that's it. Cardinals beat the Cowboys for the first time since 1981, and for the first time here at Texas Stadium since 1977. And send Jim Hannafin back to St. Louis, a very happy man, and Tom Landry back to the drawing board for the 6-game reevaluation that he has promised everyone in this Cowboy football team, which has a record now 4 wins against 2 losses and is tied with the Washington Redskins for the top spot in the NFC East, heading into that big showdown next week at RFK Stadium. It was a 1-point game at halftime with the Cardinals leading the Cowboys 41-13, but St. Louis came out very strong in the 3rd period, wind up rolling up 477 yards total yardage, and in a very impressive job. Final score 31-20 St. Louis. Now let's go to Brent Musburger in New York for the NFL Today postgame show.
And I now welcome those of you who have just finished watching the St. Louis Cardinals upset the Dallas Cowboys 31-20. I'm back here in our New York studios with Irv Cross and Jimmy the Greek. And Irv and Jimmy, since Chicago has joined us and also the Dallas-St. Louis network, let's get everyone up to date with all the scores that have developed. We have a couple of late scores to report on, too. The Washington Redskins, of course, they have now moved into a tie in the NFC East, and by virtue of the tiebreaker, they have not lost a game yet within the division. They technically are ahead of the Dallas Cowboys. Both teams at 4-2. The Giants can tie it by beating San Francisco. 35-7, Joe Theismann throws 4 touchdown passes. The Jets come away with a 1-point victory over the Chiefs. 17-16 is the final there. Buffalo and Philadelphia Ron Jaworski was shaken up a short time ago. Does not appear to be serious. The Eagles beating the Bills by 10 points with time running out in Buffalo. And, of course, the Bills remain winless. New England and Cleveland, it went right down to the end, and the Patriots pull it out by a point. 17-16 is the final there in the AFC. Minnesota and Tampa Bay, the Buccaneers apparently are going to win this one. That would push them to within one game of the Chicago Bears in the NFC Central, 35-24. James Wilder, he's kind of an unsung talent down there in Tampa. He scored twice for the Buccaneers this afternoon. Denver went into Detroit, played on a carpet off their surface, coming off of that tremendous upset of the Raiders last week, and they have dominated Detroit 28-7 in the fourth. Chicago, of course, came away with a winner. Walter Payton breaks Jim Brown's rushing record 20-7. The Bears continue to lead the NFC Central. Miami pushes his record to 6-0 on the season, 31-7 over the Pittsburgh Steelers. They won handily going away in that one. And, of course, St. Louis and Dallas, you just watched that conclusion, 31-20, the Cardinals with a victory. And the NFL today will continue with the New England Patriots hang tough. Their final is in, and their record on the season now 4-2 as they beat the Cleveland Browns by a point. Minnesota has just charged back into that Tampa Bay game. There's a minute 10 left, and the Bucs lead it right now by 4 points. And, of course, as we reported, and many of you saw, the Washington Redskins came away with another triumph over the Colts, 35-7. Dick Stockton is standing by live with one of the heroes, Art Monk. So let's send you back to Dick Stockton. Dick?
Back at the Hoosier Dome, Dick Stockton and Hank Stram, 35-7 the final score, and I think the Redskins might have broken out of their passing attack slump today, Hank.
Well, they were very effective today, Dick. They came into the game running 36 times and throwing 32 times, but they only threw 20 times today. It was very, very effective, and, of course, Art Monk caught 8 passes, 3 touchdown passes.
Well, Art Monk is down on the field right now to talk to us, and Art, for a guy who didn't catch a touchdown pass till last week, you're really making it up in a hurry, aren't you?
Yeah, it was sort of a bit of a surprise for me. Like always, we try to, establish a passing game and try to hit some of the weak points of their defense. And fortunately for us, we were able to hit a few of them.
Art, did you go into the game with the idea that you were going to throw the ball as much as you did and as efficiently as you did?
No, not really. We've had some trouble with our passing game the past few weeks, and we really tried to put it all together this week.
Art, last question. You've been double covered a lot. Has it been more difficult for you because of the injuries to the other wide receivers?
It has been more difficult for me. A lot of the emphasis of the other passing game has been placed on me, being the fact that Charlie Brown and Alvin Garrett has gone out, but I've accepted the challenge.
Well, you had a terrific game. You had caught 10 passes against the 49ers, and you caught 8 today and 3 touchdown receptions. Congratulations on a fine game.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Art Monk, a very physical and strong receiver, and really the best target that Joe Theismann has. And, of course, Hank, we talked to Joe Theismann about what's ahead. And, of course, we asked him about the game next week against the Dallas Cowboys. Here's what he said.
Well, I think the Cowboy game is going to be a lot of fun. It's a good matchup. They have an awful lot of young players that really haven't seen a lot of what we do. Conversely, we haven't seen a lot of what they do. Defensively, they've made a lot of substitutions, but the coaching staff remains the same. The interesting thing about playing against ball clubs is that if the coaching staff remains the same, although their players change, the philosophy of defense is they're going to play the 4 down, they're going to play their dime, which is 6 defensive backs, and they're going to play the standard 4-3 defense. That's something you can count on. You know Randy White's going to be there, so you have to get ready for him any way you can. And, of course, on offense, they have Tony Dorsett, and he's a heck of an offensive player.
Okay, thanks very much, Art Monk, on his fine day, and Joe Theismann looking ahead to the Dallas Cowboys. For Hank Stram, Dick Stockton, now let's send it right back to Brent Musburger.
All right, Dick, thank you. And, of course, still another reminder, the big one next Sunday in Washington, the nation's capital. It's another shootout. It's the Cowboys and the Redskins, and the rest of you will watch Minnesota against the Raiders. Speaking of Minnesota, right now with time running out, Tampa Bay has just punted the ball away. The Vikings have a chance to pull it out, but most critically, as we pick up the action with Tommy Kramer, number 9, trotting onto the field, is the fact that Irv Cross with 37 seconds to go. The Vikes apparently are out of timeouts. I saw them use 2. It is now confirmed that they have used their 3rd one, so they must work sideline patterns, try to keep the clock stopped by going out of bounds.
They will do that, Brent, but one thing you'll notice about this Viking team this year is that they'll be very strong in this 37-second period. We'll talk about that as the play progresses. There's Kramer's pass.
Against a 3-man rush, and they've got it underneath, and they get it at the 32-yard line, and they've got to hurry up now. If he wants to stop it, he'd have to throw an incomplete pass. He'll call the play at the line of scrimmage. Clock is down now inside of 20 seconds. They trail by 4, so remember that a field goal will not send this game into overtime. It's 35-31.
You know, Coach Steckel has established a conditioning program with the Minnesota Vikings that's absolutely second to none. After practice, the players go through that obstacle course, you know, that Marine Corps drill routine he has. He said, we do that not for the purpose of trying to get the guys stronger and tougher, but we do it for the purpose of letting them know that when they're tired and they're down, they're ready to, you know, throw in the towel, they can still come up with that effort in the fourth quarter. We own the third and fourth quarters in Minnesota. You watch this club in these 16 seconds.
He sets an excellent example, doesn't he? He looks trim over there on the sideline with 16 ticks of the clock to go. And, of course, the winner of this game would stay within one of the Chicago Bears. The Bears coming away with a triumph earlier. Kramer brings him up.
Kramer, with his trips formation to the left side, you would think he would go this way, and rolling to his right, there he goes, a deep pass to the left. Remember that old Big Ben pass?
Intercepted.
Oh, geez, picked off.
John Holt, number 21, was the man who intercepted that pass for the Buccaneers, and that'll do it. Tampa Bay has beaten the Minnesota Vikings, and now the Buccaneers, after that slow start, they pull up to 500 at 3-3, and they are in a game of the Chicago Bears. And the NFL today will continue on. All right, next Sunday, of course, we have got the first of 2 confrontations this season between the Redskins and the Cowboys. That is always a rare treat for a football fan. But, Jimmy, since it's in Washington, let me ask you, who will be favored in that game?
Well, Washington will be favored, Brent, by at least a field goal.
All right. Now, what about the Cowboy quarterbacking situation? Hogaboom started today, didn't move the team. Danny White finished up, led them to a touchdown, threw his first touchdown pass of the season. Who do you think Tom will select next week, Hogaboom or White?
I don't think it. He will. Danny White will be the quarterback. I mean, let's face it.
Irv, you were down. You have prepared, of course, a piece on Danny White for next week. What did you learn about the quarterbacking situation down there?
I can tell you this about the Dallas quarterback situation. At the end of the 6th week, which is today's ball game, Coach Landry is going to make a definite decision on his starting quarterback. It could very well be Danny White next week.
All right, so don't be surprised if Danny White steps in next Sunday when the Washington Redskins play the Dallas Cowboys.
Texas Stadium, Irving, Texas, on a night following perhaps the most important political debate in many, many years. There's a sellout crowd expected to watch the game of pro football. Such, I suppose, is the nature and the flexibility of our country. And tonight, an important game as Dallas tries to stay with St. Louis and Washington in the NFC East, New Orleans within range of San Francisco in the NFC West. This ABC Sports exclusive is being brought to you by Computer, a business computer that's everything you would expect from NCR. The Dallas Cowboys, their 25th anniversary, their silver anniversary. They have an honorary captain for each of their games this season. Our colleague Don Meredith is down on the field right now. 9 years he played, and I'll tell you, he's got the scars to prove it. They were the building days, the franchise expansion days. And being welcomed by the Cowboys of 1984. A struggling Cowboy team. There he is, right out of SMU. Fresh, smart, bright. Didn't know whether he wanted to be a lawyer or a minister. So he settled for the booth. 9 years. He took the Cowboys to their first 2 NFL championships, and he is quite a piece of work. Hello again, everyone. I'm Frank Gifford, and along with Don, we'll be working with OJ tonight, watching the Dallas Cowboys 4-3, tried and stay with Washington and the St. Louis Cardinals in their division. While the New Orleans Saints, they are really struggling. But one of the interesting aspects of this game for me tonight, there will be 3 Heisman Award running backs performing on this field tonight. Tony Dorsett, of course, for the Dallas Cowboys. Well, he's an exceptional player. He is back on stride again with 2 good games in St. Louis and against Washington last week, even though they were in losing efforts. And for the New Orleans Saints, they got the baby Bulls, the big Bulls, if you will. They have Earl Campbell acquired in a recent trade, and, of course, they have the great George Rogers. The man who sets that record for a season's rushing record of 2,003 yards, O.J. Simpson. Tell us a little bit about these 2 backs, O.J. They are really something in the same backfield.
Well, I don't think you'll see them much in the same backfield. Of course, there's not enough footballs in New Orleans to give them both the ball, and neither one of them have been noted as great blockers in the past. But it should be exciting when you add to the fact that you're looking at 2 of the worst defenses in football and their ability to stop the run. As a matter of fact, New Orleans is last. They're 28. and the Cowboys aren't much better. They're 2 places higher. They're 26. But when you have big names on the field, there's normally some other player who steps forward and becomes the star. My choices tonight would be Hokie Guy John, number 46 of the New Orleans Saints. He's averaging over 6 yards a carry, and he's had a habit of making big nights on Monday night. And on the Cowboys, I would say Tony Hill, number 80. He's been out with a shoulder injury. He has a hip problem, but if he can loosen up that hip, I expect him to make some big plays here tonight. Dorsett, Campbell, Rogers, Frank, I think they're ready to run, so why don't we get them started?
And here's a man who is ready. Bum Phillips has always kept this game in perspective during his 7 years with the Houston Oilers and now in his 4th year with the New Orleans Saints. And here's a man, the only coach the Cowboys have ever had. You've heard it so many times. Second winningest coach in the history of the NFL, trailing only the legendary George Halas. But he's struggling this year, as are the Houston Oilers. There was the first controversy that was generated here in Dallas and has been building for over a couple of years. This man came up in